Hello once again, and today we're going to talk about selling dodgy stuff. Yes, dodgy stuff. Right, and this is a sort of request by my mate Terry, aka Willis. Yes. And also want to give a shout out to Ricky and Jordan and oh yeah, Lucas, I guess. Why not? And whoever else I've forgotten to shout out to. Right, let's get started with selling dodgy stuff. Yes. So has anyone out there sold any dodgy stuff? I'm sure we all have. Ooh, excuse me. Yeah. Also some dodgy burps, of course. But yeah. Imagine. There's this drinking establishment. A drinking establishment with a sort of difference, so for this drinking establishment it's sort of like a clubby place, but this drinking establishment employs table dancers, table dancers, like lap dancers, as this is a dodgy establishment, so the women are dodgy too. Probably had VD or something like that, so you don't really want to touch them. They look a bit dodgy anyway. So this drinking establishment needed about 20 tables. So they contacted this company that deals with tables, but they're they got them cheap for it's probably some Cub Scouts chuck-outs or something like that. So they got all these tables, so what they do, they fix them up sort of thing, give them a coat of paint and put some varnish on them, depends how good they are, tighten up the screw legs and, I don't know, put some nuts and bolts in them where they don't need them, just to make them look good, make them strong sort of. So once these tables are completed, then they ship them off down in a dodgy transit van to this drinking establishment where they need them because they're desperate, because all the rest of the tables are probably broken. They're all broken, probably because they flogged them to them before, and after about a week they're probably all broke because these women are dodgy. They're sort of a little bit overweight. I mean, wrinkly asses and all that, so you ain't going to expect much. So all these tables come down because they were urgent, and so 11 o'clock, so all these they need the tables because obviously they want to sit down, relax, put their drinks on, conceal their hard-ons, but anyway, so out there comes all these tables are lined up, and out comes the women, start doing their bits, start burping, start showing their bums and their cleavage and all that, just to get them all excited. And so then they start going on top of the tables and dancing, but this one table was propped up by a book. So we know what's going to happen here. So she's dancing away, and then the table started to creak like that. It was just going down like that. And suddenly it just went bang. It went bang. So she done a somersault and landed on her head. It weren't going to do nothing to her brain because she was half brain damaged already, so it didn't make a lot of difference. But the only thing is now, she's got a flat head, which is pretty convenient really. I went out with her. I went out with a woman once. She had a flat head. It's very handy. You might laugh, but it was very, very handy at times. Especially when there was a crowded pub. You know, if there's a crowded pub, it was fucking handy. Because I can just put my pint on top of her head. And it wouldn't spill over because you just got a flat head. Yeah, you know, you get the gist of it. Oh fucking hell, what the fuck am I like, eh? Have a few drinks and there I go. But a request is a request. And I will try and get this out there. I'll try and get this finished if I can. Yeah, that was the end of that. That was the end of the tables because obviously they must have sued or something like that. They can buy no more tables. They're broke. They're useless. They don't work. They break all the time. They fall over because they're just putting dodgy nails in them. Well, they don't need them. Well, because they ain't designed like that, are they? Especially, I don't know, a dodgy stereo system or something like that. A dodgy stereo system. Yeah, do you remember those, obviously, if you're old like me, you'll remember the early 80s. Well, if you're in your 40s like me, you'll remember the early 80s. Where, before the Sony Walkman was invented, which was a good invention, by the way, before that, they had these ghetto blasters, or whatever they were called back in the day. These portable sort of stereo systems were the size of a, I don't know, probably the size of a 28-inch TV nowadays, but a lot thicker. These big, massive, big stereo systems that fit on your fucking arm and go out like that. A speaker either side, going down the chicka-boo, 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 going down the street, This big massive thing you're sitting on your shoulder with your arm around it, trying to hold it in position. And what made me laugh is they used to fucking stick the stereo to their head. I don't know why they did that. The ear was resting on the stereo, but the fucking speakers were there and there. So all they're hearing is the vibrations of the boom, 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 boom. I don't get that. I really don't get it. These things were massive. And they sounded fucking loud and all. That's when the stereo systems back then were fucking louder than the shit you get today. I mean, I think the stereo system, best times of the stereo system, big, massive, brilliant things there were, brilliant things, was probably the early 90s. Early to mid 90s, that's when the stereos were great. It just went, after that it just went downhill and became crap. I mean, we don't need, obviously today's technology, obviously we don't need big stereo systems, do we? I mean, everything's on MP3. But I don't know, I still like them big massive stereo systems. I mean, I've got one, I've still got one. You can tell by the big speakers I've got in the background there. They sound a treat, they do. Never get rid of them. They're about, I would say they're about 25 years old, them speakers. I've owned them for about, I don't know, I've owned them for about over 20 years. 22 years I think I've owned them. Even when I went to America, I made sure my dad kept them and I got them back when I came back. They were second hand when I got them, and they're still fantastic speakers. I would never get rid of them. Yeah, anyway, I'm going off at a tangent now. Yeah, so imagine if you bought a dodgy stereo system, some cheap shit, like Amstrad used to make. God, that was shit, those stereo systems. They were really shit. Especially that Studio 100, whatever it's called. The fucking crap that was. Yeah, I remember the advert when it came on to, it's a hi-fi, it's a studio. Yeah, it's a fucking piece of shit. That's what it was. Anyway. Yeah, if you get pissed off, you just imagine you bought I don't know, a stereo system off some bastard or something and took it out for a week. What is your stupidity for buying second-hand shit off a dodgy guy? You know, you can't trust him. You know, you go to Dixon's, fucking don't exist anymore. Go to Curry's, buy something decent. Well, you can't buy a decent stereo system these days. Just some little weenie thing. It has a CD player and a fucking iPod dock or something like that. Or a plug to put your MP3 in. You don't get these nice systems anymore. But I suppose it's like everything. Everything gets smaller. Besides phones. Anyway, yeah, I'm not going to go into that. Yeah, what else? Oh, fucking there's a lot of dodgy stuff out there, isn't there? Dodgy alcohol, for instance. Who's ever bought a dodgy pet? A dodgy pet. I bought a dog once. No, I didn't buy a dog. My mate bought a dog. It was dodgy. He bought it for a bent not a dodgy pet shop. Dodgy bought it from a bent pet shop, basically. Sold him a dog with a lisp. Woof, woof, woof. Sold him a cat that walked backwards. Yeah, just be careful with dodgy stuff. I can't think of nothing else now. I think I've knackered the subject now. I better end it now, I think. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Till next time, and goodbye.